Welcome to the Healthy Christian Podcast. This podcast is dedicated to empowering Christians to live a fulfilled life by integrating biblical principles with practical steps. Whether you're seeking to deepen your faith, enhance your physical health, or improve your overall well-being, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to the Healthy Christian Podcast. This is Season 3, Episode 5, and we have been talking about how to be healthy mentally. Really great subject. And today we're going to be diving in on the topic of thinking habits. What are the habits that you have around thinking? This is a really good topic. So let's get started. I believe when you shift your thinking, you can shift your life, shift your future, and even what you experience now. So I want you to think about something. What are some habits and routines that you already have? Do you go to the gym? Do you like to read? Do you maybe scroll through social media? What are some habits that you already have in your life now? Now, I want to take that one step further. Do you have any thinking habits? Do you have any times in your day, in your week, maybe once a quarter in your life, where you sit down to think about life, to think about situations, to process things that you're going through? Believe it or not, your body's always doing this. Subconsciously, you're processing things. Even as you sleep, some of you may dream, but your brain is post-processing so many things that you've gone through during the day. But it's very helpful and healthy for you to process and have healthy thinking habits. So let's talk about that a little bit today and how to have that and the impact that it can make in your life. I know there's a time where I was really working with a life coach and a health coach and challenging my own thinking habits and the way that I viewed things. One of the things that really helped me was creating a day and time where I sat down to create content. So what do I mean by content? Well, recording this podcast and the speaking events that I get to be a part of, the writing the books that I have. I needed time in my week where I sat down to think about all of those things. You see, without that, I was always running, always going, and creating content, doing the things that I love actually became really stressful and overwhelming. So what I found was I didn't want to do it, and I didn't take the time to do it well. So the problem wasn't that I loved doing those things or didn't love doing those things and didn't enjoy them. I love sharing and I love recording videos and podcasts and writing books. I love doing those things, but without the time to sit down to think well about it, I wasn't able to achieve my best. So what I did is I created one day during the week where I sit down and I think well about the content that I want to share. I go to my favorite restaurant. I go to a place that I seem to think well at, and I sit in probably the same spot every single week. And I really think well about the things that are coming up in my week and in my day. So I have time set aside in my calendar to think. This is a habit that I have developed recently in my life so I can be the most successful and produce the things and the goals that I have. Also, me and my wife, we take walks, we talk, we process things together. The goal is to do that at least once a day. We don't always get to do that. Sometimes it's once a week. But these are habits and routines that we've developed in our life to get healthy thinking habits in our life. We need it. It's healthy for us to really begin to have routines and habits around thinking and processing things in our life. So do you have any of those? Maybe there's already things in your life, already habits that you're doing and routines that you have that maybe you can incorporate just a few moments to think, prepare, maybe about your day, about an event coming up. I know another thing that's really helped me in my life is to not always have back-to-back meetings. There's days where I do have a lot of meetings and I'm meeting with staff and having to make business decisions. One of the things that's helped me is to not have hour-long or longer than that meetings where I'm constantly jumping from meeting to meeting. Max is 45 minutes, so I have 5 to 15 minutes to process what just happened in that meeting and to also think well about the upcoming conversation and meeting that I'm having. So I believe it's really important for us to develop healthy thinking habits and routines in our life so we can be successful. What does this mean moving forward for you? I got a question for you. What do you catch yourself thinking about? What are some topics? What are some things that you often think about in your mind? Are those things negative? Are they positive? Do you just naturally process things while you're driving? Maybe while you're at the gym or doing other activities. What are you thinking about in those moments? That's really important because sometimes we catch ourselves thinking about things that we really don't need to be putting brain energy towards. So being aware of what we're thinking about and maybe shifting that focus can be a great benefit in your life. Another thing I want you to think about is, how do you currently process things? If you don't have habits and routines around thinking, how are you processing life and the things that are happening in your day? Do you write? Do you journal? Whatever it is, begin to think about that. What are you doing currently to process the things that you are going through? Another question is, who are you doing it with? Gossip is one of the most toxic things that we can have in our life because usually it's around negative things and we're talking about other people and we're talking about other people and negative things with other people, and it's just spreading negativity. So shifting those moments where we are gossiping or talking about or having work water cooler conversations, beginning to shift that to healthy processing will make a massive difference in your life. But hey, be aware of the people that you're naturally processing with. This week, pay attention to the people you're having conversations with, whether it's at work, friends, the people that you're texting, calling, messaging on social media. Who are the people that you're leaning on to process things with? Ask yourself these questions this week. What are you thinking about? How are you currently processing things? And who are the people in your life that you're currently processing those things with? Really important. And we've been talking about this theme scripture out of Philippians 4, verse 8, that says, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there's anything excellent, if there's anything worthy of praise, think about these things." So when you begin to develop healthy habits and healthy thinking habits, this kind of needs to be your guardrail. And if you find yourself thinking about things that may not be true, gossiping about things, if it's not honoring other people, if it's not pure, lovely, just, commendable to other people, begin to set up mental guardrails. We've talked about this in a previous episode, to protect your mind, to get you back on track, and to really begin to process things in a healthy way, to use your brain energy, use your thinking power for the good, to build up your life, to encourage not only yourself, but other people in what is possible and not always the negative. So here's some practical next steps I want you to take away from this is find some time on your calendar in your day to think. I know this sounds crazy. You're already really doing it subconsciously, but find some time on your calendar to think positive and to stay focused, to have focused thinking. Now, I'm not talking about an hour here. I'm talking about 15 minutes at max, where you're going to find an isolated place or maybe even somebody that you trust, include them in that conversation, but find a place where you can get away and really process the things that are going on. It doesn't have to be negative. You don't have to be having a bad day to process things. No, you can be processing your future, what you want to accomplish the rest of the day. Maybe this is around a meal. Instead of going out to eat or doing what you normally do, grab a meal, go in isolation while you eat, think about things, process it, put your phone down, put social media down, and give your brain some time to work and flex and grow and think creative about what's going on. But I encourage people, hey, if you really value it, if you want a better future, put it on your calendar. Be intentional with the time that you have. Another thing that's been very helpful in my life is to have a thinking mentor, somebody that you admire that does think well. So take a moment. Maybe this is a great step for you, is to, in your isolated time where you're going to think this week, think about somebody in your life that you admire, that always has wisdom, that's always thinking and saying the right things, and begin to think about ways that you can process things with them. Maybe it's a text, maybe it's a phone call, an email, having just a random conversation of, hey, what do you think about this? Who is somebody in your life? Maybe you have somebody there already, or maybe you want this person to be in your life, but who is that person that you believe thinks well and processes well about things and life and situations? And begin to think about ways you can include them in your life. This is going to really help you not only begin to think proactively and positively about the things that's happening in your life, but to include other people to help you on your journey. Because this is a big key to thinking healthy and thinking habits, is to do things regularly and to create routines that are going to stick. Hey, we want to develop healthy habits that are going to be for the long haul, not just short-term fixes for now. So some really great resources to kind of challenge your thinking and to get you on track here. There's a really good book called Think and Grow Rich. You can look it up, and it really begins to help you process things in a different way. And I'm not sharing this with you in hopes that you would grow rich, but that you would think differently about money, about life, about your time, that you would begin to realize that time is a valuable resource. And even dedicating the time to think well is going to help your future a lot. And really begin to meditate and process on Philippians 4. If you catch yourself not thinking well, if you catch yourself in bad habits, hey, shift your mind, remind yourself of Philippians 4. Hey, I'm going to think about what is true, what is just, what is right. I'm going to think about these things and align my mind so I can have the best future for my life. So I hope you find this encouraging, and I know that when you develop healthy thinking habits in your life, it will change your life for the better. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to the Healthy Christian Podcast. Now it's your turn to put these principles we've discussed into action. We'd love to hear how they've impacted you. Please rate, review, and share the podcast with others. Join us on social media to continue the conversation and share your insights. Until next time, stay healthy.